Thank you to our guests, man. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Union Stringcast, guys. So glad, a lot of times I'll forget that I'm muted. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Union Stringcast, guys. Got a great show for you this evening. We're joined by Hammersheep, Machines of Penalty, Dreadstar, and the chapter president of the Delaware Merry Pranksters will be with us as well. Big shout out to Rosenfeld Dental Associates, our sponsor, located at 1095 Inman Avenue in Edison, New Jersey. Go Rockers, smile with the Rock Doc. Dave Rosenfeld, nominated one of the top dentists in 2023 for New Jersey. Make sure that you tell them either CT or the Rock and Roll Union sent you. You'll get an amazing discount upon your first booking appointment. Guys, like I said, so much. I've been backstage at the Battle of the Bands doing all those interviews, man. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you do so. The beautiful Landis Theater is so cool and such a great thing. And it's been a true blessing the entire month of July, seeing what awesome original bands are out there. There hasn't been a bad performer yet, but now we're down to the finals. So you have Nitro Nitra, 4130, Chuck Thomas and the Bad MFers, and you have Strange Velvet, guys. Check all them out. I will be backstage after they do their set, going live on YouTube. If you haven't become a member on our YouTube channel, if you're watching this from Facebook, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss a beat. Guys, just one more shout out to my boy Island Bobby and Island Bobby Craftsman. Make sure that you look him up. A lot of great jewelry, a lot of custom things, guys. You can reach him at 267. Bear with me, guys. 267-271-6931. Once again, that phone number is 267-271-6931. Has all the great crafts. He created my my skull and crossbones that I have on. He does bracelets. He does jewelry, rock jewelry, everything you need, guys. Custom rock memorabilia. He'll be out with me August 5th. Jam on the Dam. That's going to be an exciting night, guys. Jam on the Day, an exciting night. It's going to be all day and night, August 5th. Swimming, boating, fishing, any live bands all day long, food trucks, right in Williamstown at Victory Lakes. It's going to be an amazing time. Looking forward to that one. But before we get there, we have Friday night this week. We will be doing Mason Metal Fest at the Rusty Nail in Armour, PA. So many great bands on the bill. Really looking forward to that. All proceeds going to Music Works Havertown, which uses music therapy to reach those that need it, and really, really great charity. Come on out. Metal, rock, punk, it'll all be on board for the Rusty Nail. Tickets are only $10, dude, and it all goes to a great charity. And then Saturday night, like I said, I'll be behind the stage at the finale of Battle of the Bands. So much going on. And then August 12th, we'll be at Sweeney's for our 90s night. First time Rock and Roll Union touches down in Sweeney's. Make sure you check that out. So with that being said, that was a mouthful. I am going to welcome you guys to a band that has been with the Rock and Roll Union a little bit. I know my boy Johnny Mac's been with us a long time. And guys, please welcome Dreadstar. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Thank you.
Man, it feels like yesterday that I've been talking. It's been a long time, especially Johnny Mac. You go back to Rock for Recoveries at Hot Shots with We Are One. You go back a ways with us. But wanted to ask you guys, as far as Dreadstar is concerned, I know you guys have been around the block for a little while. How long have you guys been together, and how did the whole formation start?
Well, I guess we've been together for almost 12 years now.
Wow.
Something like that.
Doesn't seem like it should be 12.
It doesn't seem like it should be 5. That long. But yeah, it's been a while. Mel, you want to talk a little bit about, because you were basically one of the founding members of the band. You want to talk about how it kind of got put together?
Fell together by accident completely. I just put some dudes together from my neighborhood. Literally, everybody lives within like 5 miles of one another, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. You literally knocked on my door, old school.
That's a
On the
band.
house. Yep, you knocked on my door. I had to hide behind my thing, off my couch. Who is that? And it was Mel. I was like, holy shit.
Now, I'd be remiss. I told you guys before we came on air, but a big shout out to Phil Stelling, who was a former drummer of yours.
Yep.
Phil had to step down because of hearing problems. Still a great guy. Still does the Rock and the Moose. We're Moose Brothers, man. Woodbury chapter. Big shout out to him.
He's
But,
still a brother.
So, Johnny, how long have you been with the Fold, and how's it been?
It's been good. I guess it's going on, what, 2 years now, I believe?
Wow, man.
Yeah. And
Doesn't sound right, but it is.
it doesn't feel like 2 years, but it's been 2 years. You know, I was first approached by Mel to join the band. And I said, let me listen to some tracks. And, I listened to everything. I said, hey, I love what you're doing. I love the style of music. It's totally different from my other projects that I'm in. And I went to audition and pretty much got the gig. and I put my own spin on it. I really didn't want to emulate what Phil was doing, because I think that would just be a repeat of what he did. But I wanted to put my own twist on it and definitely make it my own style, but still, keep with the confines of the music.
Now, you had been, Johnny, let me ask you, you had been with We Are One, which changed to Pistol Razor. Are you still with that band?
Yes, I am actually. I am the original member since 2010, I believe. From that.
Yeah,
band.
man, you've been there a long time. Now, as far as the two bands are concerned, which one would you say is heavier, and which one would you say made you change your style a little bit to kind of feel comfortable behind that kit?
That's really hard to say. Pistol, I'd say, was definitely the more, I would say, heavier, but I think Dreadstar is more groove oriented, especially with Mel playing bass and, especially with Trevor and Gil. It's not as aggressive, but it still has that feel and it still has that rhythm behind it, which I absolutely love.
Now, this goes to Trevor, Gil, and Mel. I'm really hoping, because this is my first time meeting you guys, that maybe the names match the position of where you're sitting.
No, but they don't. And I thought about that when I was typing them in. Yeah, you guys got to switch.
So, could you introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
Sure, Gil.
I play guitar and leads, and I just I love the groove-oriented place of us. We're hard. We're not. I wouldn't call us metal, but we're not afraid to play with anybody. So we can hang with anybody, really. I just love this band, man.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Mel.
I'm Mel. Play bass.
Play bass.
Short and sweet.
And my name's Trevor. I play rhythm guitar, and I'm the front man for Dreadstar.
Nice.
Vocal.
Now,
man.
as far as if someone has never listened to Dreadstar, you guys mentioned a groove. How would you classify yourselves, or how would you describe your sound to somebody who maybe hasn't listened to you guys before?
This is a conversation we've had many times. Finding a single genre for Dreadstar has been difficult, and kind of,
Sort of on the stoner side of stoner rock. Stoner doom.
Yeah, and but like Gil was saying, there's definitely metal influence. We all kind of have that in our background. So it's I've heard people compare it to, like Alice in Chains before.
I've heard Pink Floyd.
Yes,
Deep
there's
Purple.
Yep, Sabbath.
Clutches.
Yeah, Clutch. So there's lots of different varying comparisons and inspirations that we have. But it's definitely difficult to kind of pin down a single genre, and I think that that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. I mean, the one thing that really frustrates me if you watch any of the Facebook videos or you watch any of the sponsored ads or any band trying to get there. They would go, well, if you like Tool, you'll love us. Like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear. I want to hear exactly what you're telling me, Trevor. Is we sound a little bit, but we have our own sound. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to hear a
sound.
band that's exactly like somebody else, and I appreciate that coming from you guys.
Yeah.
So let's talk inspiration. Trevor, I'll start with you. Inspirations. What made you want to do music?
Oh, gee, what made me want to do music? Wow. Well, I've been doing music in some capacity for, over 30 years now, and I'm 36, so that's it's most of my life. I started with music in school, orchestra, band, chorus, that sort of stuff. Joined my first band when I was 19 or 20. I guess I got kind of a late start to that party, but it's an important part of my life, and I've made sure to keep it something that I've been doing, into adulthood, fatherhood, and try to keep that going. I was on with my other group a few weeks ago with Sanctuary, so I try to keep busy with the music stuff. I find it deeply, deeply rewarding, and it's just something that I really love to do. Like to spend as much time as I possibly can, kind of delving into things. We're live to you here from the studio, the extra bedroom of my house. So this is where a lot of the magic happens for Dreadstar. Actually, when we wrap up here, Mel will be doing some bass tracking for some new stuff that we're working on, and we'll get to that. I devote a lot of my time and interests to this stuff. I really just love it.
Now, Mel, how about you? Inspirations. What made you first get into music?
Similar to Trevor, music was in my house since I was just a little kid. So my dad's a musician, his father's a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you escape it? I was lucky to have a dad who liked cool music, like rock and roll and blues, and like I got turned on to music as a kid, and just it's my favorite thing in the world then and now.
Oh yeah. How about you, Gil?
Hey, I guess it was Randy Rhoads, man. When I heard as a kid what Randy was doing, I mean, I wish I could play like him, but I actually, that inspired me to pick up a guitar. I wanted to know how to make that noise, that crazy train riff, man. I wanted to know how do you do that. So I picked up a guitar, fell in love with Black Sabbath, and it was off to the races, man. And started out really heavy bands. I had ex-Mormon thrash metal bands, and then got in my late 20s. I joined a blues cover band called Bay of Whiskey. We were voted best in South Jersey, and I have a good time with those guys. And we do a lot of improvised jams and stuff like that. So I learned to listen more and more dynamics. And I think that's what's really cool about this, man, is we all listen to each other. When we're writing, we're listening. We're not just, I got to do this. I got to do my thing. We're all like listening in the circle. All right, I'm going to play off this. I'm going to play off that. So You'll notice that we do a lot of weaving with our stuff. So I'm just proud to be part of this band.
Awesome. Johnny Mac, how about you?
I got started very young. Took lessons in high school, and was exposed to music at an early age. My grandfather had a bar in his basement, so he would have just records of all different genres, from different decades and everything from like R&B to rock and roll and stuff like that. And then I was in my first band when I believe I was 19 out of high school, called Euthanasia. And we actually shared a stage with Vicious Circle back in the day.
Wow.
Mel's band.
Nice.
And just been going on ever since. I think I'm at the age now where I actually appreciate more what I'm doing, and especially being in bands that listen to each other and actually think about what they're putting out and putting thought into what they're making, which makes the experience a whole lot better.
So one thing that Gil, you had mentioned, is feeding off of one another and listening to each other. And with that being said, and being in the music circles that I've been in, do you guys experiment any with like improv or like where like jam sessions that I'm sure you guys like just follow each other down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, our jam sessions are we start practice and we just jam. We usually jam for, I don't know, like
half hour.
Yeah, half
Plug in
hour.
and just
And we'll
jam for a half hour.
riff to riff. He'll put on his recorder and we got it. But as far as our sets go, there's not a lot of improvised jams in our songs. It's not that way.
It's more for writing purposes.
Yeah. Our jams are for writing purposes. Our live sets are pretty straightforward.
Now, talking about writing, as far as the music end of things go, do you guys do this collectively? Is there one or two writers in the band? How do you guys approach that?
For sure. Yeah. Great question. I like to describe Dreadstar's writing process as very organic. Like we were saying, we start pretty much every practice with a jam, and that's where a lot of the ideas come from. We'll get onto something and be like, wow, that's really cool. And like Gil said, I've usually got my cell phone out with the recorder on so that, just so that it doesn't get lost to the ether.
He's good at capturing the
moments. Yeah. And lots of times what will happen is, we'll kind of like assemble these different ideas, and then a jam will be like, oh, remember that thing we played a couple weeks ago? What if they went together? And that's usually how a song is kind of born. One or two or three different parts that kind of work together. They've got, maybe not like a similar feel, but like something about them works together. They lead one into another. And then usually what happens is I'll say, guys, all right, give me till next week. I'll kind of pick and choose, like, all right, here's going to be the verse and the chorus and things like that. Maybe I'll write some words or an outline for a melody or something like that. And then it'll kind of start to coalesce into a song.
Nice.
Trevor likes all the lyrics. Trevor likes all the lyrics and all the melodies for the vocals. So once he does that, it's like, oh my God, this song is amazing. It's amazing.
Always the icing.
It's always the icing. I was like, it's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, Trevor throws his vocal line over, and it's always melodic. It's always amazing. I'm just blown away how he does it.
Thank you. I like to describe Dreadstar as a 5-piece band, even though there's only four of us. If you listen to our songs, you'll find that there are often or not 5 different distinct parts that are working in harmony with each other.
That's awesome.
Even if we're like playing under the vocal line for the verse, Gil and I are both playing rhythm guitar, but we're not playing the same thing. We're playing things that kind of like counterpoint with each other.
Gotcha.
And then I like to say Mel plays lead bass.
Yes.
So we really, I like to describe us as a 5-piece band, even though there's only 4 of us, just because there's so many different things going on.
Yeah. I would say we're very unselfish that way. We let the song, whatever the song needs.
Now, Trevor, as far as the lyric end of things go, where do you pull that inspiration from? And what would you say is kind of like the apex of your lyrics? And what do you guys represent?
That's a good question. Usually each song, I kind of start each song with like a general theme in mind, whether that's something that is inspired by the music or, something that, is important to myself or the other guys in the band. Sometimes it's something even silly. Yeah, it's something silly that kind of just like sparks an idea. And then I kind of work from that seed of an idea and kind of expand on that. Sometimes it'll be the hook first that'll come to me. Sometimes it'll be, part of the verse or something like that. But usually there's some kind of there's like a core of an idea, and I build upon that. Nice.
Now, as far as the groove end of things, which is something that you guys kind of stress on, this goes to Mel and Johnny. How important is that mix between you guys? And like, if we're talking groove, it all goes down to the bass and the drummer. Like, do you guys feel like, do you look at each other when you feel that groove and just kind of like, you know, you got it? Or like, how's that happen with you guys?
That was a huge thing when we were looking for another drummer. Phil and I had a pretty good tight thing going. So, and that's something you need in every band. I think you need that rhythm section going. Johnny, I'd already seen what he can do in other bands, and I even played with him for a little while. So I knew I was going to lock in pretty good with him, but it turned out even better than I imagined it would. He and I really lock it really nice. Some subtle stuff going on where, yeah, we'll look at each other and smile every once in a while.
Yeah.
A lot of fun playing with a drummer you can lock in with, and important to the whole sound of the band, too.
What do you think, Johnny?
I totally agree with him. Even with the other projects I'm involved with, we have really solid rhythm sections. I think sometimes, you know, I hate to say it, but that's like sometimes the core of the band. Like you have to have a good foundation, which is the rhythm section, and everybody else just builds on top of that. And you know, with Mel and I being, you know, very seasoned players, you know, been in multiple bands over the years, played lots of venues, lots of concerts. I think that experience helps us out a lot.
Absolutely.
Not only in our live shows, but also in our creative process as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
Now,
meat with mashed potatoes before you can put the gravy on.
So a quick comment this is from Phil. Yes, excellent band. I'm proud of my time with them. Johnny is a great fit. And
Phil.
Still, Phil, you and Johnny got it going. So much love from Phil. And another person watching the show, Tom George, it's all about the groove.
Cool. Thank you, Tom.
We love that.
And now let's talk about music. Let's talk about how much you guys got out there, how people can go about finding it, social media, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm about to post a link in the live stream chat here, and I can put it on the Facebook event as well. That's a link to basically all of our stuff: our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud. Basically anywhere you can get our music, which is pretty much everywhere. We put our first album out in, I believe it was 2015, which is a long time ago now.
Yeah.
But you can find that there. And we are working now on tracks for our second album.
Nice.
Yeah, let me post this in this other spot too while I'm thinking about it.
Album's all written, and we're just in recording the tracks. Johnny's all done already.
Yep.
So.
Nice. Yeah, the comments out there, guys, if you want to click on that. Now, a lot of bands have one social media outlet that they enjoy more than others. Do you guys find that with you guys? You like Facebook more or Instagram or like?
Facebook's like the most common place you can find us, I guess.
Yeah, that's where you'll find a lot of our like event info. You know, we try to keep our Instagram active as well.
Most everything's up on YouTube.
Yeah. All of our songs, any videos that we have done, go up on the YouTube. So yeah, we try to keep up to date as possible and you know, active on there. So you know, we could keep engaged with our fans out there, and keep everybody up to date.
Or our albums on Spotify.
Yeah. You can find our album on pretty much anywhere where you can find music. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Heck, I'm pretty sure you can even find it on like Xbox Music.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's all out there to find.
Now, my last question for you guys, because we're quickly running out of time, is as far as your upcoming show, you have a August 12th at Bar 13. Who else is on the bill, and are there tickets available now, or is that strictly at the door?
I believe that tickets are available. I'm going to bring that up real quick while we're chatting, and make sure I get all the other bands that we're playing with that night too.
Trevor's so good at that.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. Let me see.
Yeah, the first album was just an amazing experience. When my brother passed, Trevor wrote the lyrics, I think, to Frozen Waste, and that song just came together. And these guys graciously dedicated that album to my brother.
Wow.
And, my God, our heart and soul's in that thing, man. So I can never thank Trevor enough, and always want to have this opportunity. Always got to thank him for that, because it's just a magical song. So check it out. It's on our first album. It's called Frozen Waste, and it's just a beautiful song.
Definitely will. Definitely will. And for coming from somebody that lost 3 brothers in 5 years, I definitely feel you, bro.
God bless, man.
Well, yeah, our condolences to you, CT.
Thanks, man.
So to get back to August 12th. August 12th at Bar 13 in Delaware, we're on the bill with Indus Valley Kings, Cobra Whip, and Age of Truth.
That's going to be a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a show.
Serendipitously, Age of Truth, the drummer for Age of Truth, Scott, is my next door neighbor.
No, that's awesome.
We've been chatting about being on a bill together for some time, and then when this show got booked, I looked at the show flyer and I was like, wait a minute, that's Scott's band. So I didn't even know until the lineup was already booked.
Well, Magnetars decided Dreadstar would fit good on that show.
Yep.
So yep. Smart move.
Mike's a good dude, man. Mike's a good dude. So, guys, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to chat with us this evening, man. Have a great night. And everything coming up as far as Dreadstar, please leave it on the Rock and Roll Union Facebook page so we can keep up to date with all that you guys
Thank you,
do, man.
CT, for doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys. Have a
CT.
good night.
You
for
too.
supporting local music. We appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Dreadstar, man. Really great group of guys. Really awesome to talk with them, to hang with them for a little bit here this evening. Like I said, guys, we have so much cool stuff going on, man. So you have, like I said, Friday night Mason Metal Fest. I want to bring up the list of bands. There are quite a few. Quite a few bands involved in that. I want to make sure that I don't leave out anybody. Let me make sure that I pull up the bands so that I give you guys an idea of who's all involved in that. So we have Fire from Olympus, Fragmented, Zilla, and Unhappily Ever Now. Going to be a great show. Tickets are $10. If you guys have never seen Mason Metal Fest or know what that is, Richard McDeed was on my show, God, over a year ago, but me and Richard go back a ways. His son, Mason, special needs, nonverbal, cerebral palsy, wanted to, at a young age, he wanted to find something that would soothe Mason. Everything, like, made him cry, everything, like, he couldn't reach him. One day, he puts on a Metallica album, walks into the kitchen, and Mason fell instantly asleep. So he found out at that time that metal was what soothed the bees for Mason, man. And he started taking his kid to shows. He's been to 2,500, somewhere in that ballpark as far as shows are concerned. And they wanted to put out they wanted to put out a Mason Metal Fest across the entire world. Events going on, different chapters around the country. We're only one of many. But proceeds benefit Music Works, which is right in Havertown, about 10 minutes from the Rusty Nail. And they do amazing music therapy with kids or I can't even say kids, it's from people, all ages, man. And they are a small charity. For those of you guys who have been with me a while, you know, I've been doing things for autism for a long time. We did our walks for autism. We kind of shifted gears and wanted to do something that was more personal. So we started doing things with Music Works. So Music Works is a great organization. They'll be hanging out with us Friday night. Going to be a great time. Guys, come out, $10. Proceeds benefit a good cause, and it's going to be a great night of rock, metal, punk, all kinds of stuff. But guys, it is my pleasure now to bring out my brother from another mother. He has been with me for a long time. We're talking the front man of Hammersheep, the front man of Machines of Penalty. Guys, please welcome my friend Jericho. Jericho, thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. How are you, my friend?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me? Is everything good?
Sounds great, brother.
Good. This is my first time doing this, so
Good stuff, man. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, it's awesome. We try to do everything we can with you and Rock and Roll Union, supporting everybody in the scene. It's what we have to do as a local scene. We have to support each other and try to get as many things going as we can, and it's upon us because nobody from the outside is going to do it. They think it's all, oh, look, a band, and it's easy peasy, and it's not. There's a lot of work from the bands, from the fans, from the promoters, from the clubs, everybody. So every little bit helps.
And now you've been doing this for a long time, and you can honestly say that it has gotten even more difficult as time has gone on. A lot of our venues have closed. Some have just readjusted. Others opened up. But it seems like it gets harder every day.
And it's so many different things. It's not just the venues, but the fans change. The laws change. You're going to have people that, when I was coming up, it was nothing for a bar to shut down at 2:00 and it still be full of people waiting for the next show. Now people are like, well, there's so many cops on the road. We want to get out of here by a certain time or whatever. So it's really hard work for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, some people don't know how to take me on this, but I think that the addition of, like, when we were younger, we could drink maybe 3-4 beers, drive home, and there would be no DUI. Now, if you drink more than 2 beers and you get pulled over, you're done.
Yeah.
And I think that's persuaded a lot of people to just stay home.
It has. And the, bars and stuff haven't found a way around that because nobody wants to go out to a bar and just not drink. So,
yeah. And thank God we were blessed with Uber and Lyft and those kind of things. And hopefully people use them when they're out doing their partying. But let's talk a little bit about the bands that you're in. You're in Machines of Penalty. You're also in Dreadstar. Not Dreadstar, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the first band. Machines of Penalty and Hammersheep. I've sung like for a few years back to back with you guys, which was a blast. But let's talk about what you got going on. You're a very busy guy.
Unfortunately, and that's not even just the music stuff. That's everything else. But yeah, Hammersheep, we're going strong. We played a autism benefit this past weekend.
Nice.
We would have been part of the Mason Metal Fest we hadn't already had other plans in the works. But Friday night we're going to be at Tom and Jerry's down in Delco. Love that little bar. It's not typically a metal bar, so we're going to be there with our friends Hellbent, and we're going to bring some classic metal. I know, like, some of the guys from Will Loftus from Overlord, he's going to be there. He's probably going to jump up, do some tunes. You can usually catch Crazy Desco there somewhere at some point in the night. So it's going to be a good time. Tom and Jerry's is always good. The sound is amazing. The food's amazing. And then Saturday, we're all the way up near Quakertown at Trumbowersville. It's a small little bar. It's a throwback bar. Everybody, it's filled with smoke. It's hard to be a singer in this bar. Wow. But if you put 25 people in this bar, it feels packed, kind of like the Nail. Just laid out a little different. Really nice bar. But that place gets pretty crazy. So we've got those going on. Hammersheep just wrapped up. We have the drums and the beginnings of the rhythm guitars recorded for our first 4 original songs that we've been playing with. We're hoping to have the other guitars and the bass and everything done by the middle of August. And then hopefully by September, I'll have the vocals on it. We're recording that with Fever Dream Studio, which is the Zach from DeSoviet. Used to be Barry, your brother. Really good guy. He's doing a good job there. So Hammersheep's working, they're doing what we've done. God, we're going into our 5th year now, and things just keep rolling. It's just good stuff, and hopefully we get to do more stuff with you on stage and see what kind of crazy song you have us learn next that I can't sing. Machines, that's coming along nice. They've had I've been a fan of Machines of Penalty since I moved up here, and they came around. I was like, wow, I really like these guys, and they had two very different singers, very good singers. You know, Matt was a very good vocalist. He had the high pitched screamy stuff going on, and then you had Angel was with him for the longest time. He was a really good voice. So to try and step into those, you know, Mike Collins is a good friend of mine, and Jason Brown is one of the most talented drummers in the scene today, from Burned in Effigy.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, they did a show with us. I think it was late last year, middle of last year. And Mike said, hey, you know, Matt's kind of like not wanting to do this anymore. You want to try it? And I came out and I did a little stuff, and we did some practice, and then it kind of got shelved for a little while. And then back at the beginning of the year, he said, look, he's just this, we just got to make a change. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And I came along, and I'm trying to keep Machines as what Machines was, but it's not really my forte. And they were like, look, we love what you do. So we have probably 5 or 6 songs on the writing table. Some were rewrites from what they had before. Others are brand new ones. And our next show is August 19th at a place. It's the stupidest name for a bar I've ever heard. It's called Someplace Else.
Yeah, it's up and coming, man.
Yeah, it used to be Duff McDuff's, I think is what they said. So we're going to be there August 19th. Who are we with? We're with 12 Days Straight, Gutter Royal, and Trial by Era, which is just another Steve Veach project. So that's going to be a good night, and we're looking for a packed house there. So we're going to do some songs that people have heard. Machine songs, you know, Sick of It All, Suffocate. But then we're going to do some stuff that we kind of retooled and reworked. And we're probably, if things go well tomorrow night at rehearsal, we're probably going to debut at least 1 or 2 songs that are brand new to the band Machines of Penalty.
Nice.
That we're hoping to, you know, we're going to figure out what we're going to do next as far as recording those. So, you know, I'm going to have for the next month or so, I'm going to have a lot on my plate as far as writing and recording lyrics, which I haven't done in 20 something years. I mean, I was strictly a cover guy and a tribute guy for the longest time, just because I got burnt out on it. And then Steve Webster from Hammersheep, he's playing stuff. I'm like, what is that? Well, I just wrote that, and it just kind of ignited the fire. And luckily, I'm surrounded by some really, really good musicians in both bands that are they're really good, and they're really open, and they love writing now. So, you know, I got a lot of things going on.
You know, I wanted to ask you, as far as Hammersheep was concerned, and you guys doing original stuff, which I think is fantastic. Can you give us a little idea of what maybe that flavor looks like? I mean, coming off a Hammersheep that does a plethora of classic metal, I mean, all forms of classic metal, from Judas Priest to Iron Maiden to Black Sabbath to everything in between. What are the originals going to sound like?
Well, that's a good question, because we don't know how to put our spin on them. I've been given quite a couple of different ideas as to what they sound like, and I've heard everything. They have a real Pantera vibe. You know, Steve and I both are really big into Kill Switch Engage, so we've tried to put that. I think guitar wise, it's going to come out very Kill Switch. Overall song wise, though, they're going to come out probably that late 90s, early 2000, just in your face metal. So we've got songs that are, out of the 4 songs, all 4 are different. So one is pretty straightforward. Another one has a little bit of a groove and a little bit of a catch to it. Another one is very tribal and very, you know, just grunting. And then one which actually surprised me, because John Didinato is he's my favorite drummer in the world, and you know, he's up in age like all of us, and you know, you don't have to play fast, you don't have to do that, and he had gotten away from it for years. With Steve challenged him with this one, and he said, no, I'm down for it. And I'll be damned, we went in the studio and I was like, wow, I didn't know you had that in you. I mean, it's double bass, it's blast beats. So that one's going to be closer into like the Slipknot realm. You know, that one's going to be a little heavier. So we're going to cover pretty much all the stuff that we cover in our covers. We're going to bring those influences into the originals, you know? So I think we can look forward to everybody having a little something from Hammersheep.
That's awesome. Now, talking vocally for you with the originals, is there, I mean, there's so many different ways to approach singing, number one, but metal in another aspect. I mean, there's Cookie Monster vocals, there's like classic metal vocals like Halford. What are you most comfortable with, and what do you think what are the originals like for you?
Well, the originals, like I say, I'm very comfortable. I'd say probably like where Phil Anselmo is.
Gotcha.
I don't like the early stuff where he got real high. I'm not real comfortable with the real high stuff. I can put it in there every once in a while. Obviously, we do those things. But it's going to be, well, the one song is definitely, because I thought I went pretty hardcore Cookie Monster, as you described it. I thought I went pretty hard on that. And the bass player, Bob's like, man, that's got to go lower. I'm like, really? So wow. It's more of a, it's back there.
Gotcha.
So that was going to be back there. And where we have the one called Is It Gone? That's going to be a little more flavorful. It's going to have a little more singing to it. It's weird because Zach and his one friend came over when we were talking about recording, and they listened to us play the originals. He goes, man, your vocals. He goes, I get a real big, which the Phil Anselmo thing I kind of knew. He said, I get a real Pantera and Megadeth vibe. So apparently when I get into some of the more singy parts with the Hammersheep stuff, I give off a Dave Mustaine. So
that's awesome.
And I'm not against that. I like that. That's cool. That's, thrash metal's where I came up from. So that's,
oh yeah, same.
That's,
man. So for upcoming shows, you mentioned a few. I just want to make sure that we have our calendar intact with yours. So go through again. You have this Friday at Tom and Jerry's.
Yep. And then
what else?
Saturday we have the Trum in Trumbowersville. And then what do we have in September? I believe we're slated to be at a place called it's down in Hallam. I forget the name. Triumph, the Triumph, I think it's called. I know we'll be back at Tom and Jerry's on the December 30th with and I don't know if anybody's announced it yet, but the $1 Zillion Babies, we're going to be there with them.
Nice.
And yeah, and then in I think it's November 4th, we're at Halftime Bar and Grill with Denim and Leather.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so
great shows, great venues all the way around. For anybody unfamiliar with the Someplace Else, I hear that it's got a little bit of the throwback to Time Out. Bob and Cheryl are involved a little bit.
Yep.
And Cheryl's back behind the bar. So anyone that wants to kind of recapture that Time Out vibe can go there. But you said the date with $1 Zillion Babies is what day?
It's going to be December 30th. I don't think it's New Year. It's not New Year's Eve, but it's the day
before.
Right. And
nice.
We hooked that up with Christy Thompson. Yeah. She's the one that asked if we'd be interested in that. And we're like, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And then, so like I said, Machines has got the Duff McDuff's, the Someplace Else. September 9th, we're in Allentown at Jabberjaws for an Evil Empire show.
Wow.
That's a really cool bar. Anybody gets out towards Allentown area, it's a slamming bar. Josh Evil and Evil Empire, he has been putting on some really, really good shows out there. He's had everything from punk and weird hardcore stuff to full on metal shows. I think IOG is going to be there with us. Illusions of Grandeur, I think on the night they're going to be there. And I know we're going to be back down at Halftime Bar in October. You catch it all on the Facebook pages. I try to keep everything, up and running between those and
let's
Instagram.
Talk about that between Hammersheep and Machines of Penalty. How do people go about finding Machines of Penalty or finding Hammersheep?
Well, both Hammersheep is hammersheep.com. You can find the website. There's a link to all of our socials. Just type Hammersheep into Facebook. It'll pop right up. Same with Machines of Penalty. Machinesofpenalty.com is the website. There should be links to all of the newly renovated social medias that I've been working on because they kind of went defunct for a little bit. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. working on the TikTok. I'm too old for that. I gotta sub that out to somebody young, and
I hear
I don't
you.
have any teenagers live at home anymore. So, if some teenagers are watching the show and want to reach out, run our TikTok, let me know.
Man, same here, man. But last question for you is, do we have a tentative idea of when we can hear the new stuff, either Hammersheep or Machines?
Well, like I said, we'll play the new stuff with both bands. I'm pretty sure we're going to put in some of the new stuff into the Tom and Jerry's gig. We might put 1 or 2 songs in there if people show up. I know October 14th, we're playing at the Rivet in Pottstown, like literally 4 blocks from my house here. We're going to do all our originals there for Hammersheep. And then come out to someplace else, Old Duff McDuff's, and we're definitely playing at least 2 of the newer Machine songs out there that night.
Nice. Last thing is, this is from Danny Knight, good old boy from Crown of Earth. What's up, Jericho? You're a real pro at the interview thing. On my way to see Uncle Ted, the Motor City Madman.
Dude, I couldn't love that dude anymore if I tried. If I could sing like him, I'd make money, man. That dude is amazing. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of, especially so I say I get away from being the diva as a frontman because I was a drummer for so many years. So when you're the drummer, you're not allowed to be the diva. You have to work. Right. But so many, I've gone into so many clubs and watched so many singers come in at the last moment and they don't do anything. Danny is first one in, last one out every time, dude. And we haven't played with them. I don't think we've played with them this year, which is sad. And every time they've had a show, we've had a show. That's the worst thing about being in a band is you can't go see your friends' bands play. But Danny, man, we'll put something together, brother. We got to get together because I love that dude. That dude is awesome.
Danny is amazing, man. It's been too long for me as well. But that's the way it is with us, man. So constant revolving doors, man. So.
Yep.
But Jericho, thank you so much for taking some time out of your crazy schedule and
Absolutely.
hanging with us. Just a shout out real quick while you're here. Crown of Earth is in need of a bassist, guys. So any of you bass players watching, Crown of Earth needs some help. So
yeah, if you've not heard their stuff, man, grab your 4 strings, your 5 strings, and go listen to it because you're playing with some really good musicians.
Oh yeah. So Jericho, thank you so much, brother.
Rock and Roll Union, horns up.
Love you, brother.
See ya.
Have a good night. So there was Jericho, man. Great dude, really good friend of mine, and really excited for everything he's got going on with both Crown of Earth and not Crown of Earth. I'm thinking Danny, man. My apologies. With Hammersheep and Machines of Penalty. But like he said, if you have not checked out Crown of Earth, make sure you do that. Crown of Earth is near and dear to the Rock and Roll Union heart as well. And we are waiting on our last guest of the evening. We are waiting on the Delaware president of the Merry Pranksters. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Merry Pranksters, we're talking about a group that goes back to the 60s, man. And really, really cool bunch of stuff that they do. They make people's lives happy. We're waiting on Dwayne Todd. So once Dwayne gets on here, we'll be talking with him. But guys, just so many great things going on. Like I said, just touch base on our calendar, man. This Friday, we got Mason Metal Fest. If you're not out there playing, please come check us out. We are at the Rusty Nail. It is Mason Metal Fest. It is 4 amazing bands at the Rusty Nail. $10 to get in. All proceeds benefiting Music Works and a small charity, man. I'm telling you, I think maybe 35 people work at this charity completely. It's going to be a very eventful evening. It's going to be a very meaningful evening for everyone involved. They work on music therapy for people with autism, with people with other ailments, the elderly, what have you. And they do a lot. And they are a nonprofit. So these guys really need our help. I have a link on my personal page for the charity if you can't make it out Friday night, but please consider coming out Friday night. $10 Rusty now. Great food, great drinks, the whole nine, man. Really going to be excited to see my boy Chris that I haven't seen in a while. And really, really happy to do that. Then Saturday night, we will be at the Landis Theater for the finale of the Battle of the Bands, Death Wish Coffee Battle of the Bands. I have been there from night one. Really been a great time, guys. And been doing all the interviews. All the interviews are available on our YouTube channel. If you have not visited our YouTube channel, please make sure you go over there, like, subscribe to the page. All the interviews are there from all the bands that have taken part. We will be doing our last interviews at the finale after the bands get off the stage. There is no online voting this week, so you got to get out to make your voice heard, man. So many kick-ass bands. There's 4 killer bands. We got Nitro Nitra. We got Chuck Thomas and the Bad MFers. We have Strange Velvet and 4130, guys. All Rock and Roll Union people. Make sure you get out there. You come hang out with us. That is this Friday, Mesa Metal Fest. Saturday, Battle of the Bands finale. Then next Saturday, man, I'm telling you, it has been a busy, busy time in the world of Rock and Roll Union. August 5th will be Jam on the Dam in Williamstown at Victory Lakes. Really excited for that. All day, live music, food trucks, swimming, boating, fishing, whatever you want to do on the water. And just a great time. The Rock and Roll Union Party Tent will be up. I'll be emceeing that event and really looking forward to that. Then August 12th, we will be touching down at Sweeney's. Really looking forward to this. This is our first night out at Sweeney's. Please come out and support. It's going to be a 90s evening with tributes to Green Day, Foo Fighters, and Alice in Chains. Going to be a great evening, guys. Please come out, help us pack the house. It's going to be a good time for everybody. And then after that week, I'm going to take a little reprieve, spend some family time. The first 2 weekends in September, man, I got some killer concerts that I'm looking forward to. I'm talking Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie, and then I'm going to be heading out. Actually, before Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, I'm going to be heading out to the Aerosmith finale. Anybody that knows me knows how hardcore of an Aerosmith fan I am. My youngest son's name, or would have been my youngest son's name, is Tyler for a reason. Now I got Beowulf as the youngster in my house, but Tyler was the second youngest. Really looking forward to that show as well. But just waiting a few more minutes to see if our boy from the Merry Pranksters joins us. And guys, if there's anything you want to talk about right now, we have some time before we clear the air. Like I said, I'm just waiting a few more minutes for my boys from the Merry Pranksters. We'll see if they log on. If not, it has been a great evening. Want to thank Jericho. Want to thank Dreadstar. All you guys for watching. We're just going to give it about 5 more minutes. 8 o'clock, we'll hang up. But great online communication going on right now. I see all you guys, and thank you for being here. Thank you for making Rock and Roll Union what it is. And like I said, please come out, consider checking us out over the weekend. Friday and Saturday night, we'll be out and about. Saturday is man, the finale. What are we going to do? Going to get out there, make your voice heard. It's going to be a good night. $10, man. 6 bands, $10 Friday night. I'm talking $20. You can have a hell of a weekend, and you don't want to miss a minute of it. We'll be also doing a little bit of Facebook Live, a little bit of YouTube Live at Mesa Metal Fest. We'll be doing the YouTube Live videos, and just really looking forward to everything coming up, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making Rock and Roll Union what it is. Guys, have a great rest of your evening. Like I said, check us out Friday night at Mesa Metal Fest at the Rusty Nail. Check us out Saturday at Battle of the Bands finale in Vineland, New Jersey at the beautiful Landis Theater. Casey Ray's is upstairs if you want to get a bite to eat before you come out to the show. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere, everything you want. And the cool thing with Battle of the Bands this evening, Saturday evening, is that they're doing full production for all the bands. There's going to be 45-minute sets from each band involved. So that's going to be a killer. We're talking all lights, all sound, the digital board, everything. It's going to be full production. It's going to be amazing. Friday night, great cause. Please come out and join me. It's my birthday weekend this weekend, guys. My birthday's on Monday, so I'm celebrating over the weekend. So please come out, hang out with me, spend some time, and just have a great time supporting the live arts. Rock and roll is what we are, and rock and roll is all we're about, guys. So until next week, don't just leave it better, guys. Have a great week. Love you guys.